Okay, good morning, friends. You all are here for the lecture of Cost and Management Accounting of CA Intermediate. Am I right? And today is our first lecture, lecture number 1. It's going to be an introductory lecture, my dear friends. So it's going to be introduction section. I will introduce you with the faculty, that is myself. I'll introduce you with this batch. I'll introduce you with the subject, the way I teach this subject, right? So everything, all necessary instructions will be given to you today, right? How is the notes prepared, how we will proceed in the classroom, everything we will be discussing today, so that you'll be comfortable for next coming 3.5 months. Whatever we are going to deal next, I'm going to discuss everything in brief today itself. So it's going to be an important lecture. Whatever instructions are given today, you'll have to follow all the time till the end of the batch. Is that clear, my dear friends? Okay. So let's begin with. We start with the introduction. First of all, I welcome you all to this regular batch. Please remember, you are in a regular batch of CA Intermediate. It's a detailed batch, right? We start from A and we end with Z. So it is A to Z, regular batch. And this CA Inter batch, I have given it a code name version 4. Because the earlier batches which were recorded, that was version 1, 2, 3. And now the batch which I am recording will be called version 4 for the subject of Cost and Management Accounting. So it will be called as version 4 batch, my dear friends. I would like to thank you for your trust and faith in me, right? Because you have reposed your trust and faith in me and chosen me as your faculty. Please treat me as your trusted friend in your journey of becoming CA. I will accompany you in this journey and will try to make it enjoyable. The subject itself is enjoyable provided you take interest in the subject. Then the subject will become enjoyable. So I'll accompany you in this journey of becoming CA. Please also note that these lectures which I am recording now are getting recorded in a face-to-face batch in the classroom at Pune. So the lectures which I am conducting are conducted in the classroom in front of the students at Pune. So a face-to-face batch is going on, and in that these lectures are getting recorded. So you will notice students asking sometimes some query, right? Sometimes they create noise and then I scold them. So all this is going to happen. You have to keep that in mind, that I am teaching in front of the students who are sitting in front of me and not recording it in the studio, please remember. So somebody asks me something, I'll give some reply. So may not be related to you, but you have to accept that because I'm interacting with the students who are sitting in front of me. Is that clear? So it's a face-to-face batch which is recorded, and this recorded lectures are provided to you also. You means you people can buy these lectures and watch it at home, right, as per your own convenience. Now you must know about your faculty a little bit. Though I have written about me on the back side of index page, if you just these notes which you have got by courier, right, this is, I'm having volume 1 in my hand, this is the index page, and behind the index page, just behind the index page, you will find it is written, right, about faculty. So I've already written it here, right, behind the index page, please remember, just behind the index page. But I'll go through it in brief right now. So it's already there in your printed notes. First of all, people call me Rakes Agrawal, right? That's the name of your faculty. I'm a teacher by passion and chartered accountant by profession. So though professionally I'm a chartered accountant, but I'm a passionate teacher. Now why I'm saying this, that I'm a teacher by passion, because my father being a practicing chartered accountant, the obvious choice in front of me after doing CA or after passing CA was to join him and continue with his practice. But somehow the teaching went into my mind, because I had started teaching when I was studying CA and I had completed my ICW, which I'll tell you later. So somehow my love towards teaching pulled me into the teaching industry or teaching field than going into practice. So I always say that I'm a teacher by passion and chartered accountant by profession. I passed my graduation, that is BCom examination, in 1989 from Pune University with gold medal in the special paper of cost and management accounting. Now in Pune University, we had the choice of opting for special papers. So I had opted for the special subject of cost and management accounting, which I am teaching to you. And there were two papers, costing 1 and costing 2. And I happened to be the gold medalist in that year from Pune University in this special paper of cost and management accounting. I cleared my MCom examination also from Pune University with distinction in the special subject of advanced cost and management accounting. It's only the name given by the institute, by the university is advanced cost and management accounting. So while doing MCom, I again opted for the special subject of cost and management accounting. So my specialization at BCom, at MCom also remains in the same subject, that is cost and management accounting, which I am delivering it to you. I passed my ICAA exams in the very first attempt in December 1990 and stood third in Pune chapter of cost accountants. Now what is this ICAA? This ICAA is the older name. Its full form is Institute of Cost and Works Accountants. Institute of Cost and Works. Please remember, not work, it is works. Like works manager means production manager. So the name of the institute earlier was Institute of Cost and Works Accountants, because costing subject is more linked or more related to manufacturing industry. Therefore the word was works accountant. But now this institute has changed the name and the new name is ICMA, please remember. That is Institute of Cost and Management Accountants. So today the course is called Cost and Management Accounting course, and institute is called as ICMA, Institute of Cost and Management Accountants. Earlier it was called as Institute of Cost and Works Accountants. So in those days I did ICAA because the journey to ICAA was available after 12th standard through entrance examination. So I did it along with my graduation. But in our days the CA course was available only after graduation. So first we had to do the graduation, then only we can join the CA course in our days, I'm saying. Now you have a route open after foundation, as all of you, most of you have come from foundation only. So now the route is open after 12th. Earlier in our days the route was open only after graduation. So I did my ICAA along with graduation, and CA I did after graduation. So I passed my CA final examination in November 1992 attempt with 32nd rank in All India merit. So I happen to be an All India ranker. We call it as AIR, All India rank, right? And when a ordinary student like me can be in the All India merit list, why not you? You people are more intelligent, right? So you can definitely try to be in All India merit list. I have cleared my one of the post qualification exam called Information Systems Auditor. It is called ESA exam of ICEI only. This exam is conducted by our institute, but it's a post qualification exam, means chartered accountants only can appear for this exam, Information Systems Auditor, in the very first attempt. You'll be surprised to know that the passing marks required for this examination, Information System examination, the passing marks required is 75%. 75% is passing marks, please remember, for this exam. I have also passed a state eligibility test called SET exam in commerce in the very first attempt. Popularly it is called as net set examination, my dear friends. Now the college teachers or professors nowadays, they have to clear this exam called net set exam. So I have cleared that state examination in the commerce. Actually I was guiding some college teacher to appear for this exam, so I had also filled the form, so I got through the examination. I have also passed mutual fund exam and derivatives core module exams conducted by National Stock Exchange. These are two different examinations. One is mutual fund, another is derivatives core module conducted by National Stock Exchange. These are online examinations, because once upon a time I had ventured into the share market also. So once upon a time, long back, I had become share broker, and for that I had cleared these two examinations also as conducted by National Stock Exchange. But after just 1 year of share broking, I returned back to my teaching. That is my original passion. So I had some touch of share market, and I have come back to the teaching. Now I entered into teaching in 1991. Please remember, I'm into teaching industry since 1991, just after passing my ICW examination. My ICW exam I cleared in December 1990 exam, whose result was announced in 91. And immediately after passing ICWA, the local body, Pune chapter of cost accountants here, they offered me a job of visiting faculty. And I started teaching the subject of costing at Pune chapter of cost accountants in 91, just after passing ICW examination. At that time I was doing my CA, but I was a visiting faculty for ICW also. So since 1991 till now, you can count the journey. It's more than now 31 years, right? I am into teaching, and my favorite subject being the cost and management accounting. Actually, I have taught variety of subjects in the past, right? I have taught variety of subjects in the past, like accounts. Accounts I had taught at all the 3 stages: foundation, intermediate, final. Mercantile law was there at foundation. Statistics was there at foundation level. Then costing is at 2 levels, intermediate and final. Financial management is at 2 levels, inter and final. Direct tax, indirect tax at both the levels, intermediate and final. So these subjects I have taught across all the 3 levels, foundation, inter and final. But that is the past. Because as I'm into this teaching since a very long time, earlier there was a trend that one teacher used to teach variety of subjects. It was one-man army. But now as we progress further, now the situation is, or the trend is, that one teacher should teach hardly 1 or 2 subjects. That is, a teacher should specialize into the subject, and they should teach only those specialized subjects. So the trend has changed over a period of time. However, presently I am concentrating only on the subject of costing at 2 levels, CA intermediate and CA final. You all are intermediate students, so I am naturally teaching to you, but the same subject of costing is also there at CA final level, at an advanced level. There is a 100 marks paper at CA final level, which is called, the name at present is Strategic Cost Management and Performance Evaluation. That is the name of the subject at CA final. Strategic Cost Management and Performance Evaluation. Costing, students call it as costing only. So it is at 2 levels, intermediate and final. Now let's talk about your subject, my dear friends. That is the subject of costing. Cost and management accounting is the full name of this subject. Cost and management accounting paper is for 100 marks in your syllabus, and it is covered in group 1 of your intermediate. All of you know this. There is nothing new. You know your group 1 and group 2 subjects. So it is in group 1. It is paper number 3 in your syllabus. This paper is paper number 3. So when you will appear for the exam, and if you are appearing for both the groups, that is all the 8 papers, then this paper of costing will be number 3 paper, because the institute conducts the exam in the same sequence. Paper 1, then paper 2, then paper 3, and so on up to paper 8. So this is paper number 3 in your syllabus. And please remember, this subject is mainly a practical subject. So you'll have practical questions in this subject. Though theory is always there, but that theory will help you to solve the practical questions with confidence. So it's more a practical subject, and you will be solving the practical questions more in this subject. However, in the exam, there is only one theory question asked in the entire paper. Let me tell you, your paper by the institute is set for 120 marks. And this 120 marks paper consists of 20 marks into 6 questions. 20 marks into 6 questions, and you have to appear for only 5 questions of 20 marks each. So out of 120 marks paper set by the institute, you have to appear for only 100 marks paper. Generally, question 1 is compulsory. And from question 2 to question 6, from remaining 5 questions, total there are 6 questions, first question compulsory, and from remaining 5 questions you have to appear for any 4 questions. Is that okay? So that is how you have to appear for 100 marks paper out of total paper set is for 120 marks. Now, like question 1, now you may be worried about that, okay, single question will be for 20 marks. It's not like that. Like question 1 is for 20 marks, but it may have sub questions like A, B, C, D, and these questions might be for 5 marks. So question 1 could be divided into A, B, C, D part, each part carrying 5 marks into 4. So main question carries 20 marks and main question can be subdivided. Like question 2 may be subdivided into only A and B of 10 marks each. So instead, the main question is for 20 marks divided into sub questions. Is that clear? So a question could be for 5 marks, also could be 4 marks, could be 10 marks, could be 12 marks. Right. So the one question is theory question, otherwise all others are practical questions in your paper. Now this subject demands working knowledge of English and mathematics. This is very important, my dear friends. To understand this subject well, you will need a working knowledge of English and mathematics. I don't want an expertise in English and mathematics, or we don't want to do PhD in English and mathematics. But working level of knowledge of English and mathematics is very much required. If you are good in English and mathematics, you will find the subject easy and simple. But if you are very bad in English and mathematics, then you will find the subject difficult. So subject is not difficult. The difficulty is because of poor English and mathematics. So mind it well. To understand this subject, you may have to improve English and mathematics. And if you are already good at it, nothing like it, right? You will find the subject simple. Now, why English is required? English is required to understand the question. Because I've seen majority times students don't understand the question. You have to read the question, you have to interpret the question. And without interpreting and understanding the question, you cannot answer it. So we need English to interpret the question, to understand the question. And we need mathematics to solve the question. I hope you are getting my point. You need English to interpret the question and you need mathematics to solve the question, because these are practical questions and calculator is allowed. But you have to think logically and solve. And common sense is always required in costing. Please remember, right? Common sense is required all the time. So good English and mathematics would be an added advantage to you. Please remember, right? Otherwise, there is a scope for improvement. Now, cost and management accounting subject covers the following topics. This subject covers the following topics. Now, the names of the chapters I'm going to just show it to you on the screen quickly. You may understand something, you may not understand something, because we are just starting with the costing and you might not have studied this subject earlier at any other level. So just see them, what are the chapters, right, which we are going to cover in this subject, whether you understand or not. It is called material cost topic. That is the raw material required to manufacture the finished goods, material topic. Labor cost topic, that is the manpower required to do the work. Imagine a manufacturing industry, what resources you will need. So material cost, labor cost, overheads cost, these are name of the chapters. We are going to study all of them in detail, don't worry. This is the first lecture only. I'm just showing you the list. So material, labor, overheads, activity based costing is another chapter. Why I'm discussing this? Because sometimes there are those ICAA students. ICAA nowadays is called as cost and management accounting. These students or company secretary students. Company secretary is another institute. See, there are 3 professional institutes in India. One is our ICAI, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Another is ICMA, Institute of Cost and Management Accountants. And third one is ICSI, that is Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Now, I am teaching you for CA course, but this CWA course or CMA course and CS, Company Secretary and Cost and Management Accounting courses, they also have costing as a subject. So, other 2 institutes also have costing as one of the papers. And these students, they come and ask me that, sir, can we buy your lecture, means CA syllabus lectures for our courses, that is for Company Secretary courses or for Cost and Management Accounting. So I tell them that just go through the list of chapters which I am going to cover in CA. If those chapters which I am going to cover in CA are the same chapters which are covered in your Company Secretary and CMA course, then there is no problem. You can buy these lectures. But if all the chapters covered in your syllabus are not covered here in CA, then you have to contact the faculty who is exclusively teaching the Company Secretary or exclusively teaching the CMA course, that is Cost and Management Accounting course. Okay, so I'm just taking you through the list that what we will be covering here in CA syllabus. So material, labor, overheads topic, then activity based costing, then there is a cost sheet chapter, then job costing, batch costing, single output costing, right? These are various chapters or topics. Then contract costing, operating costing. Operating costing is also known as service costing, my dear friends. Operating costing is also known as service costing. It's the same name, operating costing or service costing. Process costing, joint product costing, cost ledger accounting, marginal costing, standard costing, and budget and budgetary control. It's a big syllabus, my dear friends. So these are the number of chapters which we are going to deal with in our CA syllabus, right? CA syllabus of the subject of cost and management accounting. Now I will provide you the printed copy of notes in 4 volumes. We call it as classroom notes. Printed copy of notes in 4 volumes to cover the entire syllabus. All these 15 chapters which I have just shown you on the screen, these 15 chapters will be covered over 4 volume of notes. And please remember, these are black and white spiral binded notes. See, it is in my hand. You can see this is spiral binding cord. This spiral binding is easy to turn the page, like you can fold the page. So spiral binding is easy to handle. So I've got the notes spiral binded, and these are black and white notes, my dear friends. Okay. So these are black and white notes. This in my hand is volume 1. There are similar 3 more volumes. So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3 and volume 4. So you'll get total 4 volume of spiral binded black and white notes, right? Those who are ordering online will get it by courier, don't worry, right? These notes will be delivered to you. Physical copy of notes will be delivered to you by courier. Now what is covered in volume 1? Volume 1 I have given a name, prime cost and overheads. Prime cost and overheads, this is the name which I have given to volume number 1. So some chapters will be covered here in volume 1. Volume 2, and which chapters will be covered? It's printed in the index page. If you refer the index page, you will find which chapters are covered in volume 1, which chapters are covered in volume 2, what is covered in volume 3. Just the front page, that is index page, will give you an idea what is covered in which volume. Volume 2 I have given the name methods of costing, because all the chapters related to methods of costing I have covered in volume 2. Volume 3 I have given a name as a techniques of costing. Volume 3 I have given the name techniques of costing because something is called as techniques of costing, like marginal costing, standard costing, budgetary control. These are known as techniques of costing, which we will be discussing. So these are covered by me in volume number 3. Really speaking, these 3 volumes are for your classroom teaching purpose. It means you'll have to carry these notes in the classroom one by one. We will first finish volume 1, then we will finish volume 2, then we'll finish volume 3. So you'll have to carry the notes of volume 1 first, then volume 2 in the classroom, and then volume 3 in the classroom. Then what is volume 4? So please understand, volume 4 is your practice book. It's a practice book given for self-practice at home. So volume 4 you don't have to carry in the classroom. Volume 4 you can keep it at home, right? And it is a practice book. Now it covers some test papers with solutions. I have a habit of conducting the test, so test papers are printed in practice book along with the solutions for checking. And I have also included the suggested answers of the past exam papers of ICAI. In the past, whatever exams are conducted by our Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, those exam papers along with their solutions, suggested answers in my format, means I generally take the institute's answer, I modify them, I write the assumptions and workings which I think are required for better understanding the solution. Along with those modifications, I have printed those answers. So it's a practice book for you to practice at home, right? And remaining 3 volumes, 1, 2, 3, you will carry one after another as we progress in the classroom. Okay. So these are 4 volume of notes. The sequence given in the index page, as I told you, the first page is index page, will be followed while teaching in the classroom. I'll be teaching in the same sequence. It means there won't be any surprises to you. If in the sequence, the chapter 1 will be taught first, then chapter 2, then chapter 3 in the same sequence, please remember. So the sequence of this index page will be maintained in the classroom while teaching. So you always will be aware of which chapter I am going to start next, so that you can prepare yourself. If you get time, you can, I said you get time, because chartered accountancy students hardly get any time. Their schedule is very busy. But if you get time, you can study in advance about the next chapter. You can read the theory of next chapter before I discuss it in the classroom, so you can understand it much better. And therefore, I am going to maintain the same sequence. Now, classroom teaching sequence, the way I will be teaching in the classroom. As I said, first of all, I will follow the index, sequence of index. But in the same chapter, what sequence I will follow in the classroom, that I am telling you. See, this, as I told you in the beginning, in today's lecture, I will be covering all basics, though it's an introductory session, but it will give you a complete idea about the way I'm going to proceed further. The classroom teaching sequences, theory printed in the notes will be discussed first. We have already printed the theory here in your notes. So you don't have to write, we are not going to dictate the theory and you have to take it down. So we have saved your time of writing. So theory is already printed, but it will be discussed, it will be explained in the classroom. So I'll be first discussing theory of every chapter. Of every chapter, we'll first discuss theory, because without theoretical background, you cannot solve the questions. So theory will be discussed first in the classroom. Then it is followed by solving the practical questions which are printed in the notes. These notes already contains the practical questions, but unsolved questions, which we will be solving in the classroom. It means we have saved the time of dictating questions. So questions are already printed. Only solution will be dictated, and solution will be developed step by step, which you have to write down in your notebook. If you are studying at home, you have to prepare a separate notebook for this subject. Please remember, full-scape notebook. That is, we call it as a register. You have to prepare a separate notebook and keep writing the answer for future reference. Don't forget that. You are not going to only listen to the lecture. You have to write down the answer, because you should develop the habit of developing the answer step by step, as you will be developing it in the exam hall. In the exam hall, institute will give you the question paper and you have to develop the answer. Exactly same style will be following here. You can assume this is a question paper. These notes contains the questions, unsolved questions. And in your notebook, you will be developing the answer with my explanation. So same story we will be following here, or same thing we'll be doing here. So we'll be solving the unsolved questions in the classroom. Then some similar questions will be given to you as homework. I have a habit of providing you similar questions for homework. Now you are expected to solve these questions, homework questions, and then check it with the printed solution provided in your notes. Please remember, each chapter here printed in the printed notes, each chapter contains homework questions along with answers. I repeat, each chapter contains homework questions along with answers. Only out of these homework questions, I'll tell you every day that which questions you have to solve today at home. So first you have to solve these questions at home, because I'll be selecting similar questions which we have discussed in the classroom. Similar type of questions I will select and give you for homework. You have to solve it. You can solve it on rough paper also, because solution is already printed. And then you have to check your solution with my solution. And any difficulty related to these questions will be discussed in the classroom on the next day. Suppose today I have given you 2 questions for homework. So next day in the beginning, next day when we start with the lecture, I will first ask you, do you have any difficulty in understanding the homework questions and solutions? If there is a difficulty, you have to ask me next day and I'll be solving that difficulty in the classroom. So next day in the beginning of the lecture, we'll be first discussing the previous day's homework questions for any difficulty. But what I expect from you is, first you have to solve these questions and check it with the solution. If you are not happy with the solution, or you are unable to understand the printed solution from the notes, then you have to ask me on the next day. Is that clear, my dear friends? If you have not read the question, or you have not gone through the solution which is printed, then there is no point in asking me next day, because you won't understand anything. and then you have to appear for a test in a time bound manner after completing four chapters. So, and there are total 4 tests which we are going to conduct. After finishing 4 chapters, there will be test 1. Then after finishing again 4 chapters, there will be test 2. Again 4 chapters, there will be test 3, and so on. So there are total 4 tests which are designed for you. And I think if you remember, some time back I had told you volume 4, a similar notes, volume 4, which is called practice book or practice manual. That practice book contains the tests along with the solutions. But only I have to tell you when to appear for that test. And that test you have to appear in a time bound manner. Means you have to set the clock, right? You have to set the alarm, and in that much time you have to solve. I have written it on the question paper itself. On the test paper I have written how much time is allowed to solve each test paper, and that test is for how many marks. For example, if the test is for 2 hours, then you have to set the clock for 2 hours, solve it in a time bound manner, and then check with the printed solution. This is required to practice for exam, because in the exam also you have to appear for the entire paper within 3 hours. So that that trial which you are going to do in the exam should be done at home first. So these tests have to be appeared in a time bound manner. So sequence is, first theory will be discussed, followed by unsolved questions to be solved in the classroom. Similar questions will be given to you for homework, and after every 4 chapters we will be conducting a test which are printed in your volume 4. Now, as I told you, homework and test will provide you necessary confidence to solve the questions in your exam. If you are able to solve these questions, homework questions and test papers here at home, why not in the exam hall? So if you are able to solve it at home, the same thing can happen in the exam hall. So it will give you a confidence, or at the same time it will tell you where you are falling short, where you are weak, and where is the scope for improvement, which questions you are unable to solve. So you'll come to know those areas of improvement, so that when you appear for the actual exam, it should not be a trial exam, because all trials and errors are done at home. So you can appear with full confidence in the exam, provided you follow this sequence. Though I am telling you today, but there are very few students who follow all this religiously, that they do all homeworks also and they appear for test. But I wish you all are sincere students. If you follow these instructions in reality, right? If you don't miss a single lecture, if you see all the lectures very carefully with understanding, keep solving homework and keep appearing for the test, nobody can stop you from getting through the examination. That is what I can guarantee you, provided you follow all this with the sequence which I am just telling you. Teaching style. Stress is given on conceptual clarity and understanding of the subject instead of mechanically solving them. Friends, I am not a teacher who will just tell you to remember the things by heart, or this subject is not for remembering the things by heart, जिसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं रटना, यानी रट लो, ये याद कर लो. I am not a teacher for that. The subject of costing requires a lot of logic, my dear friends. So you have to apply the logic. You have to ask yourself, why this? Why not this? So with the help of logic, if your logic is clear, you can solve any type of question. If I tell you to only remember the things, then if anything new appearing in the exam, you will say it is out of syllabus. Therefore, I wish that you understand this subject conceptually well. If you are understanding with a teacher called Rakes Agrawal, you have to understand the subject conceptually, right? Your understanding is more important, and you should be able to tackle any question which appears in the exam hall. That is my objective, right? So I want you to study this subject only once for your lifetime. I want you to study this subject once only for your lifetime, provided you are very sincere in following my instructions. You'll have to study it only once and you will understand it for your lifetime. That promise I can give you. And at the same time, I want you to enjoy studying this subject. That is also important, right? It should not be a burden to you. You should feel enjoyment, right? You should enjoy studying this subject. That is what my wish is. Because if you treat it as a burden, then you won't feel like studying. So you should enjoy studying this subject, and subject is enjoyable, my dear friends, provided you take interest in it. I'll just tell you a story of a hungry person which narrates my teaching style. Actually, this story will give you an idea about my teaching style. Let's understand there is a person who is hungry and that person stays near the seashore. I'm also staying near the seashore. Now, you know, the people who stay near the seashore, their main source of income as well as food is fishing. So I know fishing. I go into the deep sea, I do the fishing. I catch the fish, I sell the fish to earn my livelihood. At the same time, I eat fish. This is just a story, my dear friends, just for understanding purpose. So this is a person who is hungry. This is a person who is hungry. He comes to me and he says, sir, I am hungry. Please give me something. So I offer him a fish. I offer him a fish. So that day's hunger is satisfied. So he gives me a thank and he goes away. Next day again he is hungry. So next day he comes back to me again. He says, sir, you are so kind person. I am hungry again today. So can you give me something? So I offer him another fish, right? So his second day's hunger is satisfied. Now this fellow, he got habituated. He said that I have to just make a request to Rakes Agrawal and he offers me a solution. So third day comes back to me again. Third day comes back to me again. Sir, I am again hungry and you are a very kind person. Now third day I don't offer him a fish. Third day I don't offer him a fish. I give him a fishing rod. Instead of a fish, I give him a fishing rod and I provide him coaching to do fishing. I train him to do fishing and I offer him a fishing rod. Now by this what I have done? I think by giving him a fishing rod and by providing him a training to do fishing, I have satisfied the hunger of that person for lifetime. I have satisfied the hunger of that person for lifetime. Now I don't have to offer him a fish again. And this is what my teaching style is. The story is told to you that here as a teacher, I am not here to give you the fishes or deliver you only the solutions. If I deliver you only a solution of that question, you will write down that solution. Next question again there is a problem. I am going to deliver you the logic with the help of which you can solve any question. So what is more important in the classroom is not how many questions I am solving. What is more important is how many questions you become capable of solving and you become independent from exam point of view. Are you able to understand? This is my teaching style. If you are coming here just to copy down the solution, it's of no use. If you are attending this batch just to copy down the solution, it's of no use. You should learn from me the art of developing the solution. Then only you will be able to survive in the exam hall. Please remember. So this is the way I'm going to go ahead. But for this, you have to also apply the brain. You have to be regular. You have to be punctual. You have to be sincere. You have to pay 100% attention to what I'm saying. Then only you will get that trick of solving the questions. Language used in the classroom, my dear friends. Let me be very clear about the language which I am going to use. Language used while teaching will be a mixture of Hindi and English, which is called as Hinglish. Mixture of Hindi and English. मैं आपको हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों के मिक्स में पढ़ाऊंगा, राइट. आई लटर सम सेंटेंस इन इंग्लिश, आई लटर सम सेंटेंस इन हिंदी, या मैं इंग्लिश में क्वेश्चन पढ़ के हिंदी में उसको समझा दूंगा. आई विल इंटरप्रेट द क्वेश्चन इन हिंदी, राइट. So I'll be using a mixture of Hindi and English in the classroom while teaching you in the classroom. Please remember. Now those students who do not understand Hindi at all, there are some students who don't understand Hindi at all, especially in southern part of our country. We call it as South India. In South India, Hindi is not popular language and people even don't understand Hindi. For them, there is a solution. These students who don't understand Hindi at all should buy version 2 lectures of this subject. Same subject, same teacher, but you should buy version 2 lectures because version 2 lectures were recorded in 100% English. One of the batch, I had recorded it in 100% English. I have given it a name, version 2 batch. So that batch is suitable for those students who don't understand Hindi. And if you understand Hindi very well along with English, then you can buy the present version, that is version 4. So version 2 is recorded in 100% English and these lectures are updated also because version 2 students will feel that sir, you are teaching version 4 now and you are offering us version 2. So there is a gap between the two. What will happen about updations? Don't worry, I have taken care of it. So version 2 lectures are updated by inserting some additional lectures at the end. Version 2 batch is conducted, and thereafter, after version 2, I have added additional lectures for updations, and those lectures are in the form of amendment batch 1 and amendment batch 2. So whatever new questions which were introduced by institute in the new modules, I have selected all these new questions from the subsequent modules. I have recorded these lectures in amendment batch 1 and some lectures in amendment batch 2, and these amendment batch lectures are added at the end of version 2 batch. Are you getting my point? So version 2 batch, thereafter amendment batch 1 lectures, amendment batch 2 lectures, all will be given to you. And once you study all this, it will become equal to version 4. It means version 2 students are not going to miss out anything. They will also be updated with the same content as of version 4. Now this equation can tell you better. Version 2 batch lectures which are in English, amendment batch 1 and 2 lectures are also in English. Amendment batch 1 and 2 lectures are also in English. If you add these lectures, it will become equal to version 4 batch, present batch. So the contents of version 4 batch are same as the contents of version 2 batch plus amendment batch 1 and 2, right? But nowadays, due to pressure of students in Pune and around Pune, they prefer Hindi and English language. So the subsequent batches I have recorded in Hindi plus English, because that is the preferred language in this part of the country. Pune, and the students coming to Pune from all nearby cities or states, they prefer Hindi plus English, which is going on in Pune. Therefore, I had to record this in Hindi and English, right? But earlier once I had recorded it in English, and that batch is updated now. So you won't be at any loss, please remember, right? I hope the instructions are clear. If you are good in Hindi, if you understand Hindi, buy version 4 batch, that is the present lectures. If you don't understand Hindi at all, buy version 2 batch, which includes, you don't have to buy separately amendment batch 1 and 2. Version 2 lectures includes amendment batch 1 and 2 lectures also. Reading material. Now this is a popular question which students ask, sir, what extra reading material we should refer, which books we should buy? Really speaking, nothing extra you have to buy. The first priority should always be given to your classroom notes which I have provided you, that is volume 1, 2, 3 and 4, because these notes contain sufficient theory and practical questions. We have covered almost everything. We have covered in our notes, classroom notes, all necessary theory and almost all questions which are there in the module plus extra questions. So anything covered in your ICAI module is already covered in our classroom notes, plus extra is covered in our classroom notes. So really speaking, nothing else is required other than the classroom notes, really speaking. And first priority will always be given to these printed notes, classroom notes. So actually you don't need any other books or study material after covering the 4 volume of classroom notes. But if you wish to do some additional study, if you wish to, that is your choice. If you get time, then do it. Then you may use what? If you at all want to do it. According to me, you don't have to refer anything else other than these 4 volumes of classroom notes, in my opinion. But if you want to, then you may. Yes, friends, I was telling you that if you at all want to refer, you can refer this ICAI module, suggested answers of institute, RTP which stands for revisionary test papers, and MTP which stands for model test papers. So this is what you can refer additionally, right? And these RTPs, revisionary test papers and model test papers, are released by the institute before every exam, before every attempt on their website. So you can visit the institute's website and refer this if at all you want to. Don't buy any other books or study material. Actually, you won't get time to touch any other things. Let me tell you, let me be very frank. Even if you cover all these 4 volumes, you are through. take my words, you will not get time and energy will not be left with you to study other books and material. Take my words. So whatever subjects you have joined, wherever you have joined the coaching, that much study material is more than enough. So don't buy any other books or study material, it will be wastage of money. Some friendly suggestions to you, my dear friends, right? And what are those friendly suggestions? These are for you for better performance. Those who are watching these lectures at home, those who have bought these lectures from website or from our franchisees and watching the lectures at home should maintain 100% discipline, because your self-discipline is very important. See, those who are attending in the classroom, there is a forced discipline, because I force them to maintain discipline in the classroom. I don't allow them to touch their mobile phones. I don't allow them to talk. But what about those students who are studying at home? The button is in your hand, when to stop, when to start. And as the control is in your hand, I have seen generally there is an indiscipline. Generally there is an indiscipline, there is irregularity in watching the lectures, or the students watch the lecture at a higher speed in order to cover it faster. But please remember, it's not just covering the subject, that okay, once you have covered all the lectures, it is understanding the subject which is important. So if your objective is just at a fast speed, just cover all the lectures so that costing is over, accounts is over, tax is over. But what you have understood? I think understanding is more important than just ticking the subject, that okay, accounts ticked, costing ticked, DT ticked, IDT ticked, law ticked. So ticking is not the objective. Understanding the subject is an objective. So if you are watching the lectures at home, as the control is in your hand, your 100% discipline is required, and self-discipline is the best discipline if you want to get full benefit out of these lectures. Otherwise, if you are not disciplined, you will not get the entire benefit of these recorded lectures. Stay away from mobile, from TV while watching these lectures. If you are watching the lectures on one device and the TV is already on and the cricket match is going on TV, the mobile is on and the friend is calling you and lectures are also going on, you will not get the benefit, because your CPU, that is your mind, central processing unit, is shared. Your mind is busy with TV, busy with mobile, and busy with, let us say, laptop on which you are watching the lecture. So it is busy at 3 places. You will study, your understanding of the subject will also be 1/3. Understanding of this subject will also be 1/3. Now these are the instructions I will give only on day 1. Naturally from day 2 I will be on the subject only. I will deal with only with the subject. I won't give you these instructions again and again. That is why I am giving all these instructions on day 1. Your discipline will decide your result. See, generally what I say, there are so many students who have studied with me in last more than 31 years. So many. Thousands of students. Lakhs of students could be, I don't know, I don't have a count. Now, out of these students, some students fail, some students consistently fail. Some students pass in the first attempt. Some students take 2-3 attempts to pass. Some students appear in All India merit list, and some students have appeared on All India merit list number 1. That is, some students have secured rank 1 also. Same students have studied with me. So the credit doesn't go to me. Please remember, the credit doesn't go to me. If a student has secured All India rank 1, the credit goes to that student. It is the quality of that student. Because the teacher is same, one student scores rank 1 and one student fails 3 times. Then what makes the difference? It is your efforts makes the difference. How methodically you follow my instructions makes the difference. Your intelligence makes the difference. Your sincerity makes the difference. Teacher is same. It's not because of me you will pass, it is because of your sincerity you will pass. I will do my duty to the best of my ability. Don't worry about it. I will cover each and everything in the classroom. But finally, your efforts are also equally important. Right? Getting it? See, otherwise, to understand this, what I'm telling you from my heart, my dear friends. Don't waste your time and your parents' hard-earned money. If you have spent money, your parents' money on this, buying these lectures, please do justice with it. And please try to get through the examination in the first attempt. But then watch these lectures very carefully. I had to tell this to you again and again because control is in your hand. And I've seen majority students, they mess up everything. For first few days, there is a good motivation and the good tempo is good for first few days. But after first few days, then you lose the tempo. you lose the sincerity, and then you waste the time. You will be wasting your time and you will be wasting your parents' money if you are not regular and sincere. So be very, very regular and watch at least one lecture every day in one sitting. Watch one lecture minimum every day and in one sitting. Don't watch that lecture in 3-4 sittings, in pieces and pieces. The understanding will get affected. In one sitting, watch the entire lecture, right? And write down the answers in your notebook, right? So that your batch will get completed in time if you're watching at home. Now watch the lectures in the same sequence because it has a link with other lectures. Watch the lectures in the same sequence. Lecture 1 you will watch first, then lecture 2, then lecture 3, 4, 5 and so on. Don't jump like you have watched up to lecture 6 in a sequence. Then from 6 you have directly jumped to lecture 20. No use. No use. The link is missing. I have a habit of teaching in a linked manner, in a sequential manner. It means in future lectures which I teach, you will find the reference of past lectures. So if I am in lecture number 20, I may give you a reference of lecture number 18 that see, we had discussed this in lecture number 18. So this is used here, this concept is used here. I have a habit. And if you jump upon the lectures or jump upon the chapters, you will be at a loss. Please remember it very, very well, right? So please watch all the lectures in the same sequence without jumping. Don't change the sequence of watching and watch at normal speed only. Now, why I am saying watch at normal speed? Especially these instructions. Today's instructions are for those students who are studying at home through video lectures. What happens in video lectures, our software, the name of our software is RioPlay. Right? The name of the software is RioPlay 21. That software you will get along with the video lectures itself, right? So you have to install that software RioPlay 21 and video lectures will run in that software with the help of that product key, that is your password key. With that key, the lectures you can see. Don't share that password key with anybody else, otherwise someone else will watch the lecture. You will not be able to watch because you can watch only single person can watch that lecture with the help of that serial key, product serial key or password key. Now this software, RioPlay 21 software, this has a speed option. It means you can decrease the speed of watching the lecture, video lecture, or you can increase the speed. You can decrease or increase the speed. That option is provided in the software. Now what happens? As the option is provided, some students, they want to finish 2 hours lectures in 1.5 hours. So they will increase the speed. Now you may increase the speed. Choice is yours. But you will lose the understanding. That increase in speed will be at a loss of understanding. Please remember. So my request to you is watch it at a normal speed. The speed at which I am teaching at the same speed, that is speed number 1. You should watch the lecture at speed 1. On the contrary, if you find that my speed is higher or your understanding is slower, then you can decrease the speed. If you think your understanding is slower, then you can decrease the speed. Or if your understanding is very, very good, then you can slightly increase the speed. You can slightly increase the speed. Please remember, I have seen some students watching it at a speed 2x, means at double the speed. I can tell you right now, you won't understand anything. You won't understand anything. That risk you have to take. That risk you have to take. So my recommendation to you is watch at a normal speed, that is speed 1x. The speed at which I am teaching, at the same speed. Now write the answers in your notebook for future reference. You need to develop the habit of writing also. Now why this instruction I am giving to you, right? Especially to students studying at home. I have seen some students, few students, what they do. They just listen to the lecture. They just watch me on the video and they just listen. They don't write at all. Means they don't prepare the notebook at all. They say, okay, I have listened, I have understood. If you are not writing, later on if you have to refer it again before the exam, you don't have anything in your notebook. What you will do then? Because every lecture has the limited watch time. Every lecture has a limited watch time. It's not that you can keep watching this lecture for infinite time. So next time if you want to see the answer of that question, you should have that answer in your notebook. And who will develop the habit of writing the answer? Because in the exam also you have to write down the answer. So please write down the answer along with me. When you are watching the video lecture, you will sit with these printed notes. You will sit with your notebook, pen, pencil, everything, and you will start writing the answer, because answer will be developed step by step through working notes. That habit should also be developed. Otherwise, you will not survive in the exam hall. Now, you may say, why all these minute instructions are given? These minute instructions are given only for some percentage students. Those who are not disciplined, those who don't follow all this, and then later on they repent, and then they later on say, sir, I am unable to understand, or I don't have answers now. Can you give me the answer? How I can give you the answer? Answers are already given on video. I'm developing the answer in front of you. Why you have not written it down? These requests have come in the past. I don't have a solution. If you are not sincere, the solution cannot be given, right? Therefore, I am wholeheartedly, I am requesting you, please write down the answer. Please watch it at normal speed. Please watch the lectures in the same sequence without jumping. All these are important or friendly instructions, my dear friends. These are friendly suggestions. I wish you should get through in the exam in the first attempt. Now, please prepare index on the first page of your notebook for easy reference. I am saying prepare index on the notebook in which you will be writing the answer. Like I have prepared the index here. In the printed notes, you have the index. You know this chapter 1 is from which page to which page. In this chapter, how many questions are covered? All I have written. Similar index page you have to prepare in your notebook. So in the notebook, first page, sometimes in the notebook you have got a printed index also, right? Blank index format is printed, serial number, particulars, and page numbers you have to give. So that the moment you open the notebook page, you should come to know that the answers of which chapters are lying from which page to which page. Like the chapter is material cost. So in your index you have written material cost chapter. Page, let us say 28 to 82. It means you know that the answers of material cost chapter are lying from page 28 to 82. This reference you have to give on index page, that is first page. So you have to prepare the index in your notebook. Today's homework is preparation of index in your notebook. Then another friendly instruction is give serial numbers to the pages of your notebook. Give serial numbers, page numbers to your notebook. So let us assume that this is your notebook. Let us assume. Now notebook, you don't have the printed page numbers. In our printed notes, these printed notes, you have the page numbers printed at the bottom. Page numbers are printed by me in the bottom, in the printed notes. I am telling you to give page numbers to your notebook. So in notebook, after the index page, start giving the page numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Okay. And suppose in the first notebook, you can generally prepare the 200 pages notebooks each. So generally when the first notebook ends, suppose in first notebook, the last page number is 186, let us assume. So when you will start second notebook, start from 187 page. Don't start again from page number 1. So give the page number in a sequential manner. Notebook 1, notebook 2, notebook 3. In my opinion, you will approximately need 3 notebooks of 200 pages. One notebook will be consumed by volume 1, another notebook will be consumed by volume 2, and another third notebook will be required for answering volume 3. So approximately you will need 3 notebooks of 200 pages each. Then individually it may be, for someone may need 4 notebooks or 5 notebooks also, someone may need only 2. But when you start the second notebooks, give the serial numbers sequentially, means ahead. And we'll be using this page number of your notebook for cross-reference purpose. How? I'll just explain to you. For example, if suppose I am solving question number 10 from page number 50 of printed notes. This question number 10 is printed here. Let us say on page number 50. Then we will write question 10 by 50. Question 10 by 50 indicates question 10 from page 50 in your notebook at the start of the answer. So when you will start answering the question in your notebook, you will write question 10 by 50 and then you will start answering. It means you will come to know that this answer in your notebook belongs to question 10 of printed notes from page number 50. Now, what we'll be doing? Suppose you are writing this answer in your notebook on page number 80. This page numbers are given by you in your notebook, and your notebook page number is 80 on which you are writing the answer. Then you will write this page number 80 near the question in printed notes. You will write page number 80 here near the question in printed notes. It means reference of question is given near the answer, and reference of answer, page number of answer is given near the question. Now, if you follow these instructions, it will be very useful to you before the exam. Why it will be useful? See, the questions are here in printed notes and answers are in notebook. How you will match them? Which question's answer is on which page of which notebook? Or the notebook contains an answer, but that answer belongs to which question? So when you sit for revision before the exam, you have to quickly refer question to answer, or you should be able to move from answer to question, either of the way. Therefore, I am telling you to give page number of answer at question and reference of question number at your notebook at answer. So give the cross reference, right, for easy search before the exam, so you don't have to waste the time. And that is the reason I told you, wherever your notebook number 1 ends, start giving the numbers sequentially in notebook number 2 ahead, right? Same page number should not get repeated to avoid the confusion. Friends, with this, our today's introduction session ends. I have tried to give you all the necessary information, right? I have introduced you with the faculty, with the subject, how we are going to teach, teaching style, notes, everything, and some friendly suggestions. I hope I have delivered all the necessary information and instruction to you in today's session. From tomorrow, right, I won't start the lecture directly today, right? I won't touch the subject today, but from tomorrow we'll start with the subject. And once I start with the subject, there's nothing else which I discussed. I start with the subject and I end with the subject, with the batch ends. Please remember. So these instructions won't be repeated again and again. Now tomorrow's first lecture, first we'll discuss the basic cost concepts. So I'll start with chapter 1 tomorrow. Tomorrow's chapter will be chapter 1 and it belongs to basic cost concepts. Now be ready from tomorrow with your notebook, naturally printed notes, with notebook, calculator, good calculator, pen, pencil, foot ruler, जिसको हम बोलते हैं फुट पट्टी, फुट रूलर, स्केल, eraser, ये सब लगने वाला है. So you have to be ready, well equipped from tomorrow. Printed notes, notebook, calculator, pen, pencil, everything. Be well equipped, well ready, and then start attending the lectures. So friends, thank you so much for your patient listening today, right? If you want to buy these video lectures, you can purchase these video lectures online from our website. Our website is this, www.carakeshagrawal.in. This is our website. You can buy these lectures the way you buy the goods from Flipkart, Amazon, and so on. So it's online website. You can select the product which you want to buy. You can make online payment and order it online. And your printed notes. And if you have gone for option of pen drive, because we provide two options, Google Drive and pen drive. If you have opted for pen drive mode, then you will be delivered, pen drive will be delivered to you by courier on your registered address. If you have opted for Google Drive mode, then you will be provided a Google Drive link from where you can download the lecture. And if you have opted for pen drive mode, along with the printed notes, pen drive will be sent. And printed notes will be sent to all the students, Google Drive students also and pen drive students also. Please remember, give your full address while buying the product. Give your full address along with pin code number, because the courier should find your address to deliver you this printed set of notes, right? That is study material, classroom study material. So sometimes I've seen students write very brief address and then the courier agency finds it very difficult to deliver your parcel. So please give a complete address, phone number while placing your order. So you can place the order online on this website if you would like to study this subject with me, and you may keep watching these lectures, right, as per your convenience. It's anytime, anywhere coaching, my dear friends. This technology has provided you the option of anytime, anywhere coaching. Okay, friends, that's all for today. Thank you once again. See you tomorrow. We'll be on the subject tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.